I've been dating this girl for 3 long years. See, I'm from Montana and I moved really far away to go to college, and that's where I met Hannah, who seriously turned out to be what I thought was the love of my life. What she didn't tell me was that the 2 previous boyfriends that she had from college ended up breaking up with her because she has this friend named James. And everybody in the world apparently saw it except for me, that her and James have a thing together. See, here's their background. They've known each other since they were 5 years old. James and Hannah's parents go on vacation every single year, and the family's business work together. Everybody in the family was assuming that Hannah would marry James. Little did I know, I thought they were just friends, but they've been dating since middle school. She broke up with him because she wanted to experience college life without being held down, and I'm the one that got luckily paired with her. So now I'm finding out James is still in the picture, and you won't believe what he's up to, guys. I have the full scoop. I need to type this out before I do something stupid. I'm Benji, 22, male. I just found out my girlfriend Hannah's childhood best friend James is actually her ex-boyfriend of 4 years. They dated from age 14 to 18. Everyone knew except me, her parents, his parents, our entire friend group. Everyone who smiled at me for 3 years knew I was the idiot dating a girl who was still completely involved with her ex. They're at his family's beach house together right now, while I'm sitting in my apartment staring at their prom photos on Facebook. See, I met Hannah 3 years ago. I'm from Montana originally. Came here to Virginia on a full academic scholarship for computer science. Knew absolutely nobody. Spent my entire freshman year basically invisible. Library, dorm, dining hall, and then repeat. I was taking 6 or 7 courses per semester to graduate early and maximize my scholarship, so I didn't have time for parties or social stuff anywho. So sophomore year rolls around. Hannah approaches me in the library during finals week. She asked if she could share my table because everywhere else was full. She was warm, funny, and actually seemed interested in talking to me. For a kid who'd been basically mute for a year, it felt like winning the lottery. She kept coming back to my table every day that week, and by the end of the finals, we were dating. She told me about James right away. Best friends since they were 5, their mothers were college roommates, their dads worked at the same firm. They vacationed together every summer at various family spots. Beach house, lake house, ski cabin, you name it. She presented it like this beautiful, lifelong friendship, completely platonic, basically siblings. Said her previous boyfriends have been jealous and controlling about it, but she could tell that I was different, more secure, more trusting. I remember feeling proud that I wasn't one of those possessive boyfriends. When she mentioned how her ex from freshman year could not handle her friendship with James, or how any other guy made her choose between them. I think how pathetic they were. I would think about how insecure. I'm better than that, right? I trusted my girlfriend. The relationship structure was built around James from day one. Tuesdays and Thursdays were their standing study sessions that ran until 2 in the morning at his off-campus apartment. Sunday brunches with both families when they were in town. Holiday traditions I was technically invited to, but somehow could never make work with my schedules or budget. And when I'd fly home from Christmas, they would have their annual families, their ski trip. And when I would stay on campus for spring break to work, they would be at the beach house. Always invited me, knowing I couldn't come. I rationalized everything. She was completely transparent. Always told me when she was seeing him. Texted me from their hangouts and never hit her phone. When she'd stayed over at his place because it was, quote, too late to drive safely, she would FaceTime me before bed, and when they went on family trips, she would send me pictures throughout. It all seemed so above board. James and I, we got along fine the few times that we did hang out. He was friendly, he was charming even, called me buddy and bro constantly, and made jokes about keeping Hannah out of trouble when I wasn't around. His parents, Rachel and Henry, were lovely to meet at the few family dinners I attended. Though Rachel did make weird comments about Hannah being the daughter they never had and how she was, quote, part of the family regardless of what happens. Oh boy. Hannah's parents were the same. Her mother would joke about saving Hannah's grandmother's ring for when the time was right and look between Hannah and James when she said it. Her father would tell stories about teaching both kids to drive. Their first concert together, family vacations, always ending with, quote, "These two have been inseparable since day one." I thought they were just close family friends reminiscing. 3 years this went on. 3 years of Tuesday, Thursday, study sessions, Sunday brunches, family vacations, sleepovers, inside jokes I didn't get. Photos where they looked couple-ish. But I told myself, you know what, you're just being paranoid, man. 3 years of being the cool, secure boyfriend who did not get jealous. Well, I guess I'm the joke. 2 days ago, I'm working on my web design final project with Hannah's friend Abigail. We're not close by any means, but she's competent, and I need to ace this class, okay? We finish early and she starts talking about her relationship, says that she made her boyfriend cut off his ex completely, no contact whatsoever, and then she looks at me and says, "I don't know how you do it with James. I could never handle my boyfriend being that close with an ex." My brain short-circuited. I asked, what the hell did she mean? She looked confused and said everybody knows Hannah and James dated through high school. Come on, 4 years. They were each other's first everything. Only broke up because their parents thought that they should experience college separately before ending up together. She pulled up Facebook right there in the library. I mean, gosh, it was years of photos I've never seen before because I was not friends with James, and Hannah must have hidden them from her timeline. Homecoming pictures, prom photos where she was wearing a promise ring, anniversary post, couple Halloween costumes. Oh yeah, how about kissing at midnight on New Year's? 4 years were documented in hundreds of photos. Abigail realized I didn't know and started backtracking, saying Hannah always said I was completely aware and fine with it, that I was so mature and secure, and that Hannah bragged about how I wasn't like, quote, those other insecure guys who could not handle the truth. I sat there for an hour after Abigail left, going through the photos, reading comments from 3, 4, 5 years ago. You two are perfect together. Can't wait for the wedding. The love story we all wish that we had. Then I started checking recent photos with new eyes. Hannah, wearing James' old high school hoodie in a photo from last month, said that she was just wearing it. It was vintage. She found it at Goodwill. A photo from their friend group, Spring Break, where they were sharing a bed. She said it was only the room left and they put pillows between each other. Yeah, right. The Thanksgiving photo where James has his arm around her waist and I'm standing slightly apart. You know, I actually remember that moment feeling like an outsider but telling myself, you're just imagining it, bro. I called my sister Katie back in Montana. She's 6 years older, pragmatic, protective of me since our parents passed away when I was young, 15. I told her everything and she just listened. Then she said something that broke through the shock. She said, Benji, she stole 3 years of your life, not just by lying, but by taking away your ability to choose. You never got to decide if you wanted to date someone still involved with their ex because she made that decision for you. Well, I spent the next day going through an entire relationship of ours with a new lens. Everything makes sense now. Why James always had the slight smirk when we would shake hands. Why Hannah would light up when his text tone went off, and she had a special ringtone just for him. Why their families acted like I was a temporary guest star in Hannah and James' life. Why she never posted pictures of us on the main Insta, only on her stories that disappeared after 24 hours. But a permanent post with James is always up. Why she was never available Tuesday, Thursday, or Sunday, and why she once accidentally called me James during our love, then cried for an hour saying she was just stressed about finals. They were supposed to come back Friday for my birthday weekend. I was going to wait, confront her calmly, handle this like an adult. But Thursday night, she showed up early to surprise me, and the second she walked in, I could smell his cologne. She drove 4 hours, smelling like another man's cologne, and thought I wouldn't notice because I've never before. So I asked her about James, casually at first, asked her how the beach house was. She gets defensive, right away. Wanted to know why I was suddenly so interested when I've never cared before. Well, that makes me mad. I've never cared before because I thought that he was a friend, not someone that she dated for 4 years. So I told her, hey, I know everything. She broke down. Yeah, it was immediate. No apologizing, she was just explaining, like there was something that could explain this and make it okay. James had convinced her not to tell me, after Hannah tried dating 2 guys freshman year who both dumped her when they found out about her friendship with James. He said they should keep it a secret from the next guy, just until I was invested enough that I wouldn't leave. You know, I thought about it. The plan made sense. She said because James' father was getting promoted to Chicago, the whole family would move within a year and they would just naturally drift apart, and I would never even need to know. But 6 months into our relationship, the promotion fell through. James wasn't leaving. By then, Hannah felt trapped by the lie. How could she tell me after 6 months, a year, 2 years? So she just kept lying for 3 years. She said James became more insistent after he knew that he was staying, demanding their traditions continue and guilt-tripping her when she tried to spend less time with them. He would tell their friend group I was temporary, that Hannah was just getting it out of her system before they got back together. He would get drunk and confess that he still loved her, that they were meant to be together and the world knows it, that I was just keeping his seat warm. I asked if she cheated. She swore up and down she didn't, but then admitted James would kiss on her sometimes when they were alone, just a quick little peck like a bird, that she did not encourage, and she admitted that he tried more, especially when he was drinking, but she always stopped it. Then she admitted that they had closure love. The morning of our first date because she was nervous and went to him for comfort. I mean, this woman. Our first date. The date I thought about as this perfect beginning was actually her coming directly from her ex-boyfriend's arms. Then came the blame. Oh yeah, the blame game was strong with this one. I'd never set boundaries. I gave her too much freedom. If I'd been more jealous, more possessive, she would have known I really cared and would not have maintained such an inappropriate friendship. I was too trusting, I was too passive, too willing to let her do whatever she wanted. You know, real men would have fought for their relationship. I told her to get the hell out. We're done. Not because of a mere jealousy, but because everyone in her life participated in making me look like a fool. For 3 years. That's 1,000 days. Her parents, his parents, their entire friend group, they all knew and kept it a secret. Like they put it inside of a glass bottle and threw it to sea. They all watched me play the role of boyfriend, while knowing I was just a placeholder until Hannah and James figure it out. So, at this point, James starts texting me within an hour, calling me pathetic, saying I was never good enough for Hannah, that everyone knew I was temporary, that Hannah only dated me because she couldn't have him, that he would do whatever he wanted the second I was gone and she would forget I even existed. Oh man. I didn't even respond to this man. I went home to Montana for the weekend, needed to see Katie, needed perspective from someone who knew me before all this. My best friend Mark from high school pointed out something that hit hard. I was targeted. Yeah, a lonely out-of-state wolf with no friends, no support system, no one to question things or point out the red flags. Hannah could tell me anything, and I'd have no frame of reference to doubt. When I got back Sunday night, Hannah was waiting outside my apartment. Said that she needs to tell me everything, the whole entire truth. She did cheat. Oh yeah, multiple times, and not just a bird kiss. Full love. At least twice that she remembered vividly, but probably more when they were drinking. Once 6 months into our relationship at his parents' anniversary party, and once last year after some reunion I was not invited to. She said it didn't count because it was just physical, that emotionally she was with me. Does she believe that? But then she admitted more. See, she and James compared us constantly. She would tell him about our life and how he would tell her what she was missing. When she would say that she was too tired for love with me, but then go study at his place, sometimes things would happen. Not always, but sometimes. She would come home and shower right away and climb into bed with me, and I would cuddle her not knowing she was just with her ex. The families knew everything. Both sets of parents were waiting for me to graduate and leave so Hannah and James could just get back together. Rachel already had Hannah picked out to help run their family business. Hannah's mother had saved their grandmother's ring specifically for when James dropped down on one knee. They literally called me Hannah's college phase when they thought I couldn't hear. So, the beach house trip was happening right now, right? It was partly to plan their future together, which apartment they would get after I left, whether Hannah would go to grad school or just start working with James at his dad's firm. When they'd get married and Rachel wanted fall, Hannah's mom preferred spring. I asked why date me at all if James was always the plan. Hannah said she wanted to experience being with someone different, someone nice, someone safe, someone who would not challenge her or make her feel bad about herself, and James actually encouraged it, said it would be good for her to see what else was out there so she would appreciate what they had more. And I was supposed to be one semester fling, but I was comfortable, and I did her coding assignments and never complained when she canceled a plan, so hey, comfortable. 3 years of my life, I was the comfortable guy. She actually tried to spin it off as a compliment, said I was the nicest guy out there, the most caring, the most giving, that being with me taught her what she did and did not want in a relationship, that I had helped her grow as a person and she would always be grateful for that. Grateful like I was an internship. So, the revenge. Because every revenge starts small. I didn't plan it, but when Hannah left my apartment, I did something I've never done before. I went on her Instagram from her laptop that was still logged into my place, and she had a whole secondary private account I never knew about. It was very tiny. It only had 236 followers. All their mutual friends and families. 3 years worth of photos with James that never made it to her main account. Photos from their study sessions, from family trips, photos where they'd clearly been couple posing, and photos from nights that she told me that she was with the girls. The most recent post was from the beach house exactly 2 days ago. Hannah in a string bikini, sitting on James' lap, his hands around her waist and both of them laughing. The caption said some things never change with a heart emoji. Comments from her friends said, finally, nature is healing. The real ones know you two are endgame. Poor Benji, LOL. Poor Benji, like I was a joke that they've all been in on. So I screenshot it, right? 3 years of this, that I was never really her boyfriend, just a placeholder with a pulse. She told me she loves me. That I did something petty but satisfying. I did it. I messaged every single guy who commented on the photos over the years, guys from their friend group who'd watched this play out, and told them exactly what Hannah had told James about our love life. How she said I was technically proficient but boring. How she would laugh about my inexperience and how she called me her practice buddy for her real relationship. Then I sent the screenshots to Abigail, who was completely kept out of the loop. Yeah, kept her out of the loop all right, and felt horrible about it. Abigail has 3,000 Instagram followers, and let me tell ya, she loves this kind of drama. Within hours, the story was shared everywhere. Hannah the cheater. Hannah the liar. Hannah who kept a backup boyfriend for 3 long years, but the real revenge came from James. See, Hannah made a miscalculation. She thought James wanted her back, that all of his jealousy and possessiveness meant that, well, he loved her. That once I was gone, they would reunite and live happily ever after. But James, he liked the competition. That's it. He liked having something that I had. He liked knowing that he could take her from me whenever he wanted. That's what he was in it for. Now that I was gone and Hannah was just available, he wasn't very interested. He told her this at the beach house in front of both families, said he didn't see her that way anymore, that the thrill was gone, that he's been texting this girl from his gym, and wanted to see where that went, that Hannah should, probably just move along. Hannah called me sobbing from her car, driving back alone from the beach house, 4 hours worth of crying voicemails about how James used her, how she threw away everything for nothing, and how I was the only person who truly loved her, how she messed up, the best thing in her life for someone who was just playing games. Well, I didn't respond to the voicemails, but I did text her just one time. You weren't the only one playing games. I never loved you. I loved who I thought you were. See, that person simply never existed. The aftermath has been better than any revenge I could have planned. Hannah's reputation in their social circles destroyed. She's the girl who cheated for 3 years, then got rejected by the guy that she cheated with. And James is already posting stories with the gym girl. Their families are embarrassed that their 3-year plan fell apart so publicly, and the friend group is split between people who knew and feel complicit, and people who didn't know and feel betrayed. Hannah had to move back in with her parents because her roommate next year found out and didn't want to live with her. She's finishing senior year from her childhood bedroom while James is living it up in some luxury apartment with his new hot model girl. I'm graduating next week. A full year early thanks to those 7 course semesters. Already accepted a job at Microsoft out in Seattle. Starting salary that's more than James will ever make at his little daddy's firm. I'll walk across that stage, get my diploma, and never see anybody from this state again. Hannah sent me exactly one last message. It was yesterday. It was a long-winded apology about how she knows that she destroyed everything and how she'll regret this for the rest of her life, how I deserve better, and how she hopes I find someone who appreciates me. Then she asked me if maybe in a few years, when we're both different people, if we could try again. I didn't respond, but I did one final thing. See, remember that private Instagram with all the photos? I changed her password. She can't delete the evidence now, and it's just sitting there. 236 random people watching the museum of her failed manipulation. Every time she makes a new account, someone will remember, and the screenshots will resurface. But the best part, James' new gym girlfriend found the account. She messaged me saying thanks for warning about both of them. She's apparently using James for free drinks while still being with her real boyfriend. Even told me James is terrible, which explains why Hannah was so willing to keep me around. I graduate in 5 days. Hannah has to stay here for another year, and James has to face everyone knowing he got played by his gym hookup. Their families have to live with their embarrassment, and their friend group has to deal with the fallout. And I get to move 2,500 miles away and never think about another one of them again. 3 years of my life wasted on a relationship that was never real. But at least I learned something valuable. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Hannah showed me she was somebody who would lie about fundamental things, and James showed me that he was someone who enjoyed destroying the relationship. Their family showed me they valued image over truth, and their friends showed me that they would rather be complicit than honest. I showed them that the quiet scholarship kid from Montana wasn't as stupid as they thought, just a trusting man. There's a difference, and they know that now. Edit. Hey guys, I just want a quick update. James got fired from his daddy's firm for sending illicit pictures to the secretary using the company phone. His dad is apparently furious, and Hannah's posting a crying emoji on his Insta. He blocked her, and this gift just keeps on giving. Edit 2. Abigail sent me a screenshot of Hannah trying to convince people I was the abusive one and controlling, and that's why she had to find comfort with James. Nobody's buying it, since they all saw the 3 years of photos where she's all over James while I'm paying for her rent. Truth has a way of outlasting lies. Edit 3, final edit. My scholarship includes grad school. Thinking about staying at Microsoft and getting my master's paid while making 6 figures. The American dream. Meanwhile, Hannah just posted about starting a GoFundMe for her last year of tuition since her parents cut her off. It's raised, let me check. Refresh screen. $23 so far. I might donate $1. But I think the saddest part is the $23 is from her mom. Well, today's story was indeed full of drama. I want to know what you guys are thinking about today's story, and in my opinion, It really sucks for OP that he wasted, in his own words, 3 years of his life with this girl Hannah, and I was just probably thinking while reading this story, there was so many obvious red flags that he just ignored because he was in love with her. I do have 2 comments that I want to review. Obviously, one's going to be against OP, and the other one's going to agree with OP, because I like to get a perspective from both views. Here's the first commenter that does not agree with OP, and by the way, guys, let me know what you think about these comments in our comment section down below. The first one says, honestly, Benji, this entire post just screams bitterness, disguised as moral high ground. You dated a girl who clearly still had unresolved ties to her ex. I mean, it was obvious to everyone except for you. And instead of leaving early, you chose to ignore the signs because it was convenient. That's not maturity. That's willful blindness, and you brag about exposing it. But blasting private details about your life to random guys isn't revenge. It's what we call petty humiliation. You should do some research. It doesn't make you look strong or like a good man. It makes you look weak, vindictive, and petty. Yeah, we get it. Hannah lied. Oh, it's not the end of the world. But also, you stayed in a situation that any reasonable person would have walked away from. I mean, am I wrong there? Don't pat yourself on the shoulder or the back for the revenge-level behavior you did. If you'd really grown up, you would have just walked away silently and built your life without stooping to their level. You're just another player in the same toxic game. Guys, that was the first commenter, and, well, I don't agree with every point they made. Some of the points, you gotta question, like, wouldn't the normal person just walk away from this? I don't know, because I wasn't in OP's shoes, and I don't think we got enough context of it. So, comment number 2 we're going to read now is agreeing with OP. It says, no, OP, you're absolutely right to do what you did. 3 years of your life were stolen from you by not just Hannah, but an entire web of complicit liars, friends, family, and even James himself. They made you into a punchline of a cruel inside joke, letting you believe you were in a real relationship when in reality you were just a placeholder. That's not a simple breakup, that's psychological warfare, dude. Exposing the truth wasn't petty, it was justice. People like her only thrive when the narrative is controlled and you rip that away from her. Actions have consequences, and if she did not want her lies exposed, she should have not been living a double life. You came out stronger, free, and smart, while she's left with the ruins that she created. That's not pettiness, that is survival. Guys, that was the second comment. Let me know which one you agree with the most. And as always, if you enjoyed the video and you have any hype buttons left, go ahead and click the hype button. If you don't know what that is, I'll pop it up right here. Basically, you get 3 hypes a week and you can use them on any video on YouTube. What they do is tell everybody, hey, this video's pretty cool, check it out. So drop a hype down below. I'll see you guys tomorrow. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and remember one thing. It's cool to be kind. Peace.